Hey guys, what's up? My name is Jimmy Fame and I want to personally welcome you to my brand new channel. So since I'm going to be doing a lot of makeup tutorials on my channel, I want to go ahead and get this video done with and over with right off the bat. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but if I turn to the left, on the left side of my beautiful face is a blemish. And this blemish actually is a scar, and I will tell you the story about that scar. So last Thanksgiving I spent in southern Florida. I went to Key Largo and I also was in Fort Lauderdale, and I also spent some time in Miami. So I was supposed to fly back home, and at the time I was actually living in Virginia, but instead of flying home, one of my friends actually invited me to stay in Miami for an extra week because he had just gotten a penthouse suite at the Fontainebleau, and you know, it was also Art Basel weekend. And so I thought it would be a great idea, you know, like I get an extra week in Florida and get to enjoy the sun and beautiful weather. I hate winter, so it's like not about going back to Virginia so fast. So I said yes, and I stayed. So on one of the nights that I was there, I actually attended an event hosted by Jeremy Scott, who is the designer of Moschino. And so the first thing I noticed when I got to the event was that it was an open bar. Not good for me because I literally don't have limits when it comes to drinking. I mean, people are like, oh, you should know your limits, but I'm just like, limits? So here I am downing drinks one after another, and I start forgetting the night, but I do remember bits and pieces, and from what I can remember, I was pretty belligerent. At one point I remember being on stage, like dancing, twerking, like having so much fun, and then I remember it suddenly started raining and like people were dancing in the rain. It was just so intense and crazy, and that's when it happened. So out of the blue, like, I just remember it was such a, like, Carrie moment. For those of you who have seen the movie Carrie, I just, like, remember, like, wham, there was, like, an impact on my face, and it came from behind, and I just remember, like, everything really going quiet, and, like, I, like, knocked out, like, of consciousness. I don't remember, like, anything, but then I suddenly regained composure. And I'm like looking, and everybody's just staring at me, and I'm like looking down, and there's like blood running down all my shirt, and there's just like, and I just like start screaming like, ah! Like security rushes to me, and they're like, what happened, what happened? And so what happened was someone actually hit me in the face with what I believe was a champagne bottle. I was rushed to the emergency room. I had to receive like 4 stitches, and yeah, it was probably one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me. So anyways, the day after that, like, my friends still wanted me to go out and party, and so I was out clubbing with freaking stitches in my face, like, not feeling myself whatsoever. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, let's party, and I'm all like, my face. So yeah, my stitches did start irritating me while I was out, so I ended up going back to the hotel and just chilling and taking it easy, and I actually took it easy for like the rest of the time that I was there. Needless to say, I did have fun, and it is a crazy story to tell, but yes, I'm left with this scar here, and someone told me it adds character. I personally want to get it removed, but I was going to give it a little bit more time to heal, because apparently scars don't heal until like a year later or something like that. But that is my scar story. You can call me Scarface. Just kidding. But yeah. Let's start our makeup tutorial. Okay, so before we start, I am going to have a clean face, obviously, and I am going to apply the Erno Laszlo Formula 3-9 serum. This serum actually improves brightness and textures of skin, also will improve hydration, evenness of tone, and provides greater elasticity. Then after the serum, we'll go ahead and apply the NYX Shine Killer. Now I have combination skin. It really depends on what climate it is and like the weather outside of how my skin is going to be acting. But what I found about this, it's like great not only if you have oily skin but also if you have unevenness of your skin, and it provides a great base for your foundation. So I am also going to take this and apply it all over my face. Now that we're prepped and primed, we're going to go ahead and start applying our foundation. Today I'm using my Dior Air Flash foundation. This is literally my favorite foundation ever. It just goes on so smooth and so even. Some people like to take this and like apply it with a brush. I literally don't do that. I just spray it on my whole face. Now when I do that, I try not to wrinkle my face like this or something like that, because when it goes on, it does create the creases. I mean, obviously I'll go ahead and like smooth it out afterwards, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Now that I have sprayed an even layer throughout my face with a damp beauty blender, I want to go ahead and smooth out any wrinkles that you see and just like really make this an airbrush look. Now that our foundation has been laid, I'm going to go ahead and start with my eyebrows. For my eyebrows today, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Express for brows and eyes in the color Burnett. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow brush in the number 12. And to start off, I'm going to brush my eyebrows up and then down. So I'm going to be dipping into the lighter shade of this first, and I'm going to start very lightly following the natural shape of my eyebrow, filling in those light areas. Now, using the Anastasia Beverly Hills number 20 brush, I'm going to take some of my concealer and I'm going to be using the Urban Decay concealer in the medium light natural. And line the bottom of my eyebrow. Defining your brow even more. Now your eyebrows should be fully snatched. So let's move on to the eyes. Now I'm going to be taking the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. And I'm going to place a little bit of this product onto my fingertip and gently dab it onto my eyelid. Now that we have primed our eyelid with the Masters Palette by Mario for Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'm going to go ahead in the color Hollywood and apply all over my eyelid. And I'm going to be using the MAC 217 brush. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the MAC 219 brush and I'm going to dip it into the color Bronx. And I am just going to go over my crease, blending up Now again with the 217 brush, I'm going to dip into the Bronx and I'm going to start focusing on the corners of my eyes. So packing pigment onto the corner here and the corner here. A cool tip when doing eyeshadow and you want it to be really defined is I would take a card and just line up the very edge of your eye right here to a few inches underneath your eyebrow, and then dip into an eyeshadow and just go over that, like so. And you can do it over again just to build more depth and blend it in. Now you should have a really sharp line. And I'll continue blending just to soften it up. Now going in with the Ideal Duo by Dose of Color in the color Shell, I'm gonna go ahead and apply. It comes with a primer and it also comes with a pigment, and I live for this. So what you do first is you take the primer, and it says not to go in with a brush, so what I like to do is take my fingers and then apply it onto my hand before I apply it onto my brush. I'm gonna be going in with the MAC 242 brush, this one, and then I'm gonna take that primer and I'm going to apply it onto the center of my eyelids. Then I'm gonna dip into the pigment and just pack the pigment on top. Now going back into the Mario palette, I'm going to dab into the color Fifth Avenue, which is right here, and then I'm going to take the MAC 219 brush and I'm just going to apply that into the center corner of my eyes. Now taking that same 219 brush, we're going to dip back into Bronx and we're going to go underneath the eye this time. Now for the most part our eyes should be finished, but I'm going to go in with a concealer just to sharpen this eyeshadow line up a little bit more. And I'm going to take the Lorac Perfection Concealer and I'm going to take a small angled brush and I'm just going to go underneath that eyeshadow. And then I'm going to blend down. Now you don't have to be crazy about blending it. I know this might look a little harsh right now, but you'll see why I leave it like that. Now taking the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Medium Light, I'm gonna go underneath the eyes and just make streaks like so. A lot of people like drawing triangles, but I think it blends a lot smoother if you just streak it. Kind of like a little wisps. I'll also apply concealer to the bottom of my chin, my Cupid's bow, down the center of my nose, and on the center of my forehead. And then we're going to go in with a damp beauty blender and blend it all out. Now for bronzer, I'm going to go into the Tarte Graveyard Swamp Queen palette. And I am going to go in the color Sweet Tea. Using a brush, a smaller angled brush. I'm going to be using my Morphe Bling brush. Dip that in there and just chisel out those cheeks. I'll also take this brush and go along the edges of my face and on the corner of my forehead. And just blend, blend, blend. I'm going to take the Ban Eye Luxury Powder and a cosmetic wedge and just pack that powder underneath your eyes. And underneath your bronzer. Using my Duo eyelash glue, I'm going to apply Lily Lashes in Miami. Now for my lips, I went in using the shade Dirty Money by Jeffree Star Cosmetics and laid that bitch. For highlighter, I went in with the Cover FX on a damp beauty blender and just went on my cheekbone. Hope you guys enjoyed my very first video and my scar story. Please don't forget to hit subscribe, and I can't wait for you guys to join me on this journey of growth with makeup and life.